Alright, quick update on Bonfida. So if we zoom into the micro term, it seems for now at least we may have bottomed over this level here. So we never came down to the previous low. Nah, it doesn't really look like a W. I'd say this could somewhat look like a W, but no, this doesn't look like a W at all. It does just seem like this came out of nowhere. I mean, we sliced through the 786, so I can't really see anywhere where this held from. So if we take a fib from the low to the high, no, it never came down here either, so it just seems like it may have potentially found its bottom, it may have not. It has come back through the 786 that we lost like a week ago, so you know, in the short term at least, in the very micro term, the price action doesn't look too bad. Personally, as you probably know, I've said a million times, I'm a pretty conservative trader, so I would like to see at least the micro 618 get broken before I do get out of bed for this token. If we do break the 618, I think we have a clear shot of a retest of the micro all-time high that we set in a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you know, the all-time high, the macro all-time high is all the way up here at $15, so we do have a long way to go. If we did manage to break above this 236 here, so I'll mark a few areas where we could get stuck at and where I'm personally looking, at least in the short term, for us to get above. So in the very micro term, getting above the 618 is key before, you know, personally I get out of bed for this coin. In the more macro term, obviously our 618 is all the way up here for the macro. I mean, that is, you know, 720, 725, so if we broke that, you know, we pretty much have a clear shot to, you know, 10 or 11, but you know, these are all hypotheticals of if we do break out. Right now we are still below the 618 in the micro term, so you know, I'm not saying that this isn't a bottom. This could very likely be a bottom because, you know, we've broken out of this descending trend line, but you know, once again, it's not too impressive to have broken out of this trend line, because you know, if we didn't break out of this trend line, we would have basically been at zero come, you know, pretty much now. So I mean, it's not all impressive that we have broken out of this trend line. I mean, it was bound to happen at some point. You know, we've come from 11, where the top of this trend line is, all the way down to 230, and you know, I mean, we broke out, but we're still below the breakout level. So what I'd be looking for, like I said, there's a few areas where we could get stuck out. The breakout level, which is here, which is pretty much where we've gotten stuck at for now. To be completely fair with Bonfida, it has gone up, you know, 17-18% today, so I will give it its day in the sun. I will say, you know, fair enough if you're well, I would say fair enough if you're holding this coin, but if you've been holding this coin since, you know, $4, your money has been slashed in half. If you got in recently, you know, you're laughing, but still, from this micro high, it is still down, you know, 45%, so nothing really to play with or get out of bed for me personally. If we do get above 232 in the short term, like I said, we've got almost a 69% increase coming up to the top here. Slightly more conservative target, we could say we could be potentially coming up and retesting the 232 here. Now, this big box that we've got here, the top of the wick all the way down to the bottom here, and the 618, I'm going to mark this as one massive red box. So I think most of the resistance that we've got coming in for this coin, in fact, you know, like 80% of the resistance, you know, apart from this, we've only got the 200-day moving average and the 618, so 200-day coming in at 534, so if we did manage to get above this big red box, we could see a 40% pump. If we do manage to break above there, then, you know, it's pretty much clear skies for an 86% pump, at which point if we did get above there, you know, you could basically see a 180% return if you did long this, or you did buy this on spot position. So all in all, I mean, there's this coin is pushing up pretty heavily. So today it's been okay, but like I said, keep an eye on this big red box. If you're kind of conservative, unlike me, then I'd say keep an eye on 232 as a breakout level. Personally, for me, I am very, very conservative, and just kind of zooming out and looking at this coin from a macro perspective, it is still in a massive downtrend, even if it may have broken out of this this downtrend. So I mean, we can always redraw it from here, which is, you know, one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of trend lines. I normally use moving averages and Fibonacci's and resistance and support boxes, because, you know, I believe that price action respects it a lot more than just some bullshit line in the sand, some imaginary line in the sand. So like I said, keep an eye on this big red box coming up. If we do break above 232, we could see a straight ride to 360. But personally for myself, as I am a very conservative trader, I will be sitting on the sidelines until we do break above 389. If we do break above 389, like I said, we've got a pretty clear shot up to about $5 to $5.30. Now, if we come over to the Bitcoin dominance as well, the Bitcoin dominance is still pushing up very strongly, so I am still somewhat cautious of entering altcoins. Personally, I did buy a small bit of Solana today. Now, you know, I don't recommend anyone to enter that trade with me. I did buy it for a specific accumulation reason. Not necessarily because I think it's going to keep on going up in the short term, but, you know, we have seen a good amount of volume coming in. We have broken out the trend line, so I won't make this a Solana video, but, you know, if you've been watching my videos, I've been saying I will be sitting on the sidelines till we do break the 200-day to the downside. I have made an exception today, bought a tiny bit of Solana, but, you know, coming back to Bonfida, I mean, so far so good. I would like to see more volume coming in. This is basically pipsqueak volume. There is, you know, barely any buyers coming into this market. I think it is just coming up because the market cap is exceptionally low and, you know, sellers are exhausted. So at some point this was going to bounce. I would like to see, you know, multiple green days where we do get strong volume coming in. If we finish off on the weekly, let's see if the Heikanashis turn green yet. So do bear in mind, we still haven't turned green on the Heikanashi candles. We're still in a very, very steep downtrend. Heikanashi is still red. We're putting in a red doji right now. No buying volume coming in on the weekly. So do bear in mind, while we've had a pretty decent day today, on the weekly time frame, absolutely nothing's changed. We are retesting the 618, is it? Or was this the 786? I feel like it was the 786. So no, we're retesting the 618 now, sorry. We've broken through the 786 and we're literally kind of touching the 618 now. So I think when I started making this video, I don't even think we were up here. I think this was a somewhat recent thing. Yeah, it was. I mean, I probably started recording this like 5 minutes ago, and, you know, we've just come and touched this this 332. So I mean, if we are able to get above this in the short term, a long position may be good if you're, you know, more of a degenerate trader than me. But like I said, I'm pretty conservative. I would wait for a break of 390 before I personally do get out of bed. So that's all I see for Bonfida. Once again, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion on the market, and you've always got to do what's best for you. Peace.